A very warm good evening to such a wonderful audience. When Dr. Deepak was inviting me here, I was quite skeptical of sparing time and being with all of you. Not that I underestimated the event's importance, but that I overestimated my professional commitments. And he was generous enough to say, "Ki ma'am, aap kisi bhi time aa jao." And that's very nice of him. And I think that's what you expect from anybody who's been working so hard in the field and is trying to be a visionary in the field. I bring to table, like the great person introduced me, the intelligent pretty woman, I bring to the table 35 years of experience of working with government, primarily government, being with government in public policy formulation with tech influences. When I joined in 1991 in this government setup or autonomous setup under DOPT, the only computer we could see was a small XT. From there till now, from 1995 when Windows got launched till now, it's been a great journey. And thanks to Government of India's vision with Digital India in place, we are all prepared to combat adversaries, not just from the wonderfully prepared defense forces, but also our preparedness in terms of India AI mission, National Supercomputing Mission, India Semiconductor Mission. But I bring to you a little beyond that. It's like a crystal gazing. Dr. Sahu asked me to talk about quantum computing, deepfake, and AI. It's quite a mouthful, and especially when you have to combine these three. Because AI, thank you. Because AI has already rattled the apple cart in terms of redefining the organizational spaces, in terms of changing the expectations of the citizens, but add to it a layer of trust. That trust is very tough to come in digital domain because of synthetic media. Now, synthetic media is not as bad as we make it sound like. Synthetic media is something that is churned out of digital media. However, synthetic media has an avatar which is more capable of disabling the entire country, which is misinformation and disinformation emanating from deepfakes. So synthetic media is good. We saw partially synthetic media in movies like Jurassic Park and other such creations. There's no harm in that in entertainment industry, in education, in capacity building, even in library sciences, for information, for empowering the students, for entertainment. But synthetic media, when it couples up with malintention, when it couples up with wrong information, is a loaded nuclear bomb which can actually damage the sanity of a country because of the ripple effect created by social media. So now, when you have AI, which is capable of creating deep fakes, the whole trust goes on a 6. Why? Because you don't know whether I should believe it or should I just forward it and believe it later through authentication mechanisms. And this deep fake has another problem. I often say it on all the platforms without mincing words. One is a fake with malintention. That means information that never existed has been created through AI to spoil the community harmony or to create a wrong ripple effect of an information. However, there's another side which some politicians are or celebrities are using AI to their advantage, which we call in professor's language as liar's dividend. This liar's dividend is they make a statement, they make that statement And then subsequently, when the damage has been done by that irresponsible statement, they disown saying that it is a deep fake. ये मेरा तो है ही नहीं, ये deep fake है. So please understand, synthetic media on its own has no bad effect if it is handled responsibly. And this is where the whole conversation around responsible AI starts. Responsible AI, the framework I gave in Bharat Mandapam just last week is, there are many aspects of responsible AI, but I give it an acronym called as TALES, T-A-L-E-S. We'll come to that later. Transparency, accountability, reliability. E is actually making sure about environmental damages and sustainability. डॉक्टर साहब प्रणाम, आपके बिना नहीं शुरू कर पाऊंगी. So please understand. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. So please understand what I'm talking, what I've just shown you in 5 minutes in terms of what is happening in ecosystem is already creating some nuisance in the sanity of citizens who are proactive in using Umang, DigiYatra, DigiLocker, and many other initiatives including UPI. They have already onboarded on the bandwagon of technology. They've started doing facial recognition with happiness. They've started using one app to handle to almost more than 32,000 services. However, they are not sure of still using content lying on cyberspace because of these issues. Now, couple it up with quantum computing, and this is what Dr. Sahu asked me to talk about. He asked me to do amalgamation of deepfakes, quantum computing, and AI. Now, that's such a tall order. Why? Because deepfake is one kind of problem which has caused misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation triangle. It has also led to non-kinetic warfare. And then you have AI, which is capable of increasing the decision making of individuals and organizations and countries. And then comes quantum computing. Now, quantum computing is not to be dreaded, but is to be prepared for. The million-dollar question is, what is quantum computing? Why is it being mentioned in advanced seminars or events like this? Quantum computing operates, if I have to take an analogy, computers usually operate as 0 and 1. On and off, we call them as bits. Quantum computing is like a magician, which can adopt multiple states at the same point of time. They stop being bits, they become QU bits. So if a bit-related computer, normal computers operate on bit operations. So if a normal computer has to, let us say, has to go to Jantar Mantar, it's just an anecdote I'm concocting right now, okay? So if, let us say, a normal computer has to figure the right path in Jantar Mantar. So what it will do, it will try one path. If it fails, it comes back, on and off, that's all. Goes to another path, on and off, and multiple paths it will. Quantum computing is capable. Now, if a quantum computer magician, a magician with a quantum computer has to navigate his or her path through Jantar Mantar, it can process all the paths simultaneously. This is what is quantum computing. It's as simple as that. It's a magician capable of handling multiple possibilities in a wink of a second, which a normal computer was only doing in on and off manner. So imagine deepfake hai, AI hai, upar se aa gaya quantum computing. Now this quantum computing will try to distort the ecosystem of verification of deepfakes. If there is a synthetic media or a computer AI generated media, there is a technology called as C2PA. Now this technology gives a digital signature to this data saying कि ये डेटा कब जनरेट हुआ, जिसको हम मेटा डेटा कहते हैं, ये डेटा कब जनरेट हुआ, कहाँ जनरेट हुआ, किस सॉफ्टवेयर में जनरेट हुआ, इसका सोर्स क्या था, डेट क्या थी, एंड सो ऑन. सो दिस इज लाइक अ टैग ऑन इट. C2PA technology. Quantum computing can break this, using Shor algorithm can break this C2PA and create a deep fake related signature on that. तो आपको लगेगा ये deep fake भी authentic है ना. एक सिंथेटिक मीडिया बना, उसके ऊपर C2PA टैग लग गया. C2PA टैग से सिटीजन को पता चल गया, अभी पता चलेगा, एज साइंटिस्ट वी स्टडी लिटिल अहेड ऑफ टाइम, तो पता चल गया कि ये डीप फेक है. ठीक है, आपने उसको कहा इसको विश्वास नहीं करना, ये तो फेक है. लेकिन अगर वही डीप फेक क्वांटम कंप्यूटर के थ्रू निकलेगा तो वो उसी C2PA सिग्नेचर को फोर्ज कर देगा, और इतनी जल्दी फोर्ज करेगा कि उसका भी मल्टीप्लाइंग इफेक्ट वही रहेगा. So please understand the viral effect of social media coupled up with quantum computing, coupled up with deep fake is going to rattle national security under what we call as cyber-enabled information influence operations. Quite a mouthful, I'm sorry. Okay, non-kinetic warfare. And this is what I bring to the table. As per certain claims, NIST claims, quantum computers were supposed to make difference earliest by 2035. However, in early 2026, a company called as OR Atomic has already decided to launch what they call as discovery pipeline in competition with Google by end of this year. And their prototype will be functioning against quantum attacks by 2029, 6 years ahead of NIST's 2035 deadline. So actually this is not the first time technology is outpacing policy or technology is outpacing trust. China is already putting so many investments in quantum communication and quantum networks that it is the top country in leading these investments in quantum computing. US has already introduced, like I just said, the world's first post-quantum cryptography standards through NIST. European Union has already advanced large-scale research through quantum flagship program. UK, Canada, Japan, and Australia have already invested a lot in quantum research and innovation ecosystem. So, and what are companies doing? Google's Willow. Now let's look at the hardware stack. Google is in it, Microsoft is in it, Quantium is in it. They've already come up with chips to do that. Timelines are actually moving fast and not moving back. Now, what is India doing about it? India, if some of you would know, launched its quantum journey way back in April 2023. And its approved outlay is now something you have to really listen carefully. India has launched, I repeat, National Quantum Mission in April 2023 with an approved outlay of 6,365 crores. So we are actually in the journey. We have already decided the main objectives of this mission are develop intermediate scale quantum computers, establish secure quantum communication networks, advance quantum sensing technologies, build indigenous quantum systems, strengthen India's global competitiveness in quantum theory, and also strengthen telecom security. With the underlying understanding that quantum computing could eventually compromise today's encryption systems, so India must be prepared for post-quantum cryptography, which is also called PQC. Post-quantum cryptography as a strategic necessity. So what Dr. Sahu has organized today for us through me is actually right at the nick of our, otherwise it would become past. There are many updates on it, but I'm left with very little time. But I'll just tell you one very important thing, that now when a survey was done, only 0.1% people reliably can tell a real clip from a high quality deepfake, and hence are eagerly awaiting quantum computing. Also, what is very important is that quantum attacks mathematical layer, whereas deepfake attacks are human layer. So till human capacity building is not done in quantum computing, we'll be far behind others. Thanks a lot.